Hey guys, what is going on? This is D with NearFallGaming coming back at you with the Go Home Show to the Great American Bash in our Smackdown vs. Raw 2008 General Manager Mode series. Before we can get to our Smackdown for tonight, we've got to do a quick recap of last week's Smackdown. This tag team match was a little crazy here. We've got Gregory Helms and Rey Mysterio taking on Kenny Dykstra and Chris Masters in tag team action. Kane came out after the match and had a indirect confrontation with Chris Masters. Gregory Helms continued his rivalry with Kenny Dykstra. Rey Mysterio came and backed up Gregory Helms after Kenny tried to get Helms in a match with Chris Masters. And then King Booker was here, not in kayfabe, just to continue the rivalry he's got with Rey Mysterio. Match number 2 was the Cruiserweight Championship. Mr. Kennedy was not involved in this match at all, but we just had him there to help him move up into the power rankings, get him ready for his title match. And Sabu picked up the victory over Elijah Burke, the new Cruiserweight Champion. Elijah Burke was absolutely distraught after the match, and he was, just to say the least, he was not pleased. Marcus Corvan tried to kind of console him, and he wasn't having any of it. So we'll see what kind of develops and stems on from there. Moving on to the next match, a first blood match. Bobby Lashley and King Booker. Now the next 3 matches were set apart for the competitors of the Triple Threat and the Great American Bash main event, and they all one got to pick their opponent, and the other got to pick their stipulation. So Edge picked King Booker, Mr. Kennedy picked first blood match for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley picked up the victory here. And Bobby Lashley picked Kane, Edge picked Steel Cage, and Kennedy picked up the victory by getting his ass out of that cage and escaping Kane. Snitsky threw a chair over the cage to kind of help out Mr. Kennedy there. And then we've got the main event. Kennedy picked Snitsky, Bobby Lashley picked Hardcore Match, and Edge picked up the victory in this one. So each member of the Triple Threat picked up the win. Every single match in our show was a 3.5 star, but our show was a 3 star. So I'm not really sure what happened there. But whatever. Fuck me, I guess. That was it for July 12th, and we're going to get right into July 19th with the preview. Match number 1 is going to be Kenny Dykstra versus Chavo Guerrero, taking on the tag team champions Elijah Burke and Marcus Corvan. Just exhibition action. Corvan wanted to get this match to get Elijah Burke's mind focused back on the tag team championships. They've got a big title match at the Great American Bash against the Hardys. So Corvan asked the GM to get this match set up, so he did. Match number 2, Sabu taking on Finlay, new Cruiserweight Champion Sabu. Just exhibition action. Finlay is considered a light heavyweight, so he's in the Cruiserweight division in this game. So it's Cruiserweight division exhibition action featuring the champion. Match number 3, just a tag team match between Johnny Nitro and MVP and the Hardy Boys. This one, much like the match before them, just kind of a exhibition match getting them ready for their title match this Sunday. Match number 4 is a part of our 4-match card. The main event as far as matches go, Rey Mysterio and Kane taking on Chris Masters and King Booker. And if you've been following along this series, you know that when we've got 4-match cards, the general manager, he likes to get as many big names into his 4-match main events as he can. So he's got Rey Mysterio clashing with King Booker, but he's got Kane alongside him and Chris Masters alongside King Booker. And then, of course, we will see the appearance of Finlay and William Regal. We'll just go ahead get that added really quick, actually. But that doesn't change a whole lot. Moving on to our main event of the night. It's a segment, not a match. Bobby Lashley, Mr. Kennedy, and Edge in a contract amending, more or less, from the original contract between Edge and Bobby Lashley. This is a table match and in the gameplay, but, you know, is someone really going to be put through the table? I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, enough of the shenanigans. We're going to lock in and move on to the next match, or to our first match, excuse me. Kenny and Chavito taking on Elijah and Marcus Corvan. As you can see in the gameplay, we've got a tag team match, or a title match. That's not the actual case. And then Gregory Helms is there. Again, not the actual case, but more just to continue the rivalry. Fuck, man, I did it again. So we'll see ya. We're gonna have to restart the match here as soon as it loads up. Alrighty, here we go. We got Kenny Dykstra coming down to the ring. We got everything figured out. We got it fixed. We got it taken care of. There's nothing you need to worry about. Just that great value brand Bobby Lashley point coming from Kenny Dykstra, the cocky little bastard. He's a CLB like Christian, but not like Christian, you know? Like, he's not the creepy little bastard. He's the cocky little bastard. But we got Chavito coming down to the ring. He's, you know, getting some wind back under his wings, getting some momentum. Cracked the top 15 for the first time in quite a while. So things are looking up for Chavito. But we're gonna skip his entrance from there. Sorry, man. And a couple reasons why we made this a tag team title match. Two of them, very specifically. First one, you're seeing it, is the visual of them wearing their tag team championships without me having to import another video elsewhere. So that's what we got going on there. And second is to, of course, help with the ratings. I 100% intend on these two picking up the victory and not losing the championships to Kenny Dykstra and Chavo Guerrero. So what we're going to do about that is we're probably going to get ourselves disqualified. I'll be real with you because I respect you as a viewer. So I hope you can respect that. But you know, we'll give it a couple minutes of, you know, a little razzle dazzle, and then ultimately Kenny Dykstra will get himself disqualified. With that counter. And in the kayfabe, what really happens here is I kind of screwed up by having Elijah Burke in first. But Marcus Corvan would be leading this match. And Elijah Burke just lost his Cruiserweight Championship last week. And basically, he just would be really dejected and really, you know, not into this match whatsoever. And it would be concerning for Marcus Corvan because, you know, that's his tag team partner. They're about to defend tag team championships. Yada, yada, yada. But, you know, he's just really disinterested in everything that's going on. Wow, nice, okay, I like that, I do like that, but, that would basically, that would basically be the case between Elijah Burke and Marcus Corvan, and Corvan would ultimately kind of see that, you know, Elijah Burke ain't giving two fucks about this match. He just lost his Cruiserweight Championship, and he's kind of bummed about that and really not happy. Oh, solid. Okay. But Gary Kubiak's like, if you do that again, motherfucker, I'm gonna disqualify your ass and your partners. Regardless, Corvan would carry his team to a victory. Corvan's a beast, and he would win cleanly. And Kenny Dykstra and Chavo, they're nice, but ultimately Corvan is a beast, and I'm excited to see what happens with Corvan later on in the series. But ultimately, he's trying to get his tag team, his relationship with his tag team partner, you know, get that fixed and get that right. So despite the communication issues, Corvan and Elijah Burke will ultimately pick up the victory here in this matchup. What a counter that was! Oh, okay.
I can't believe the lack of respect these fans have for Chavo Guerrero and his legendary family. I don't think it's the Guerreros they have a problem with. I think it's Chavo himself.
All right, Chavito. Uno, dos. And Elijah Burke kicks out. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I am kind of giving him the business right now. Excuse me, Mr. Corvan, you son of a bitch. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Okay. Nice grapple there by Elijah Burke. We might end this match here pretty soon. And like I said, Corvan would win clean. They wouldn't actually get themselves disqualified in kayfabe, but I'm not trying to sit and watch through a whole tag team match because, you know, if this isn't your first video watching this series, you would know how I feel about tag team matches in this game very specifically. It's just not a good time.
You know, if you let me train you,
there we go.
You could be cruiserweight champ inside a year. Oh, no.
Big back body drop. You love to see it. You love to see it, Kenny Dykstra. You prick. You son of a bitch. You do it, and he did it. Okay, so again, kayfabe, they don't actually get disqualified. They get their asses pinned. Corvan is the man who takes him down, and ultimately we move on. I just wanted to ensure the victory, and especially since we put the tag team titles on the line, I wasn't about to fuck around with any of that. It would just be unfortunate. So that is the way it goes down, and Gregory Helms is kind of just not really involved with the match, but he watches. Ends up is being seen at the like stage entrance, just kind of laughing at Dykstra, and that is what ensues there. Match number 2 is Sabu and Finley, and this is just our cruiserweight champion, just kind of getting some rub, getting some exposure, some TV tick, basically, and he picks up the victory over Finley. That's pretty much not a whole lot else we need to talk about. King Booker doesn't come out to the match or anything, just kind of a filler match, unfortunately, as it is what it is for the build up. But yeah, moving on. Another tag team matchup, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy versus Nitro and MVP. We're going to simulate this one, and wow, that's unfortunate. Okay, so the Hardy Boys lose, Nitro and MVP pick up the victory. Since they pick up the victory and Chavo loses, Chavo might actually fall out of the Power 15, which is unfortunate, but it's too late to do anything about it now. So, moving on, we've got the tag team matchup of Rey Mysterio and Kane taking on Chris Masters and King Ibuka, accompanied by William Regal. I'm very conflicted as to whether to play it or not. Given the shenanigans that happened last time with the table match and everything, we're not going to do this. We're not going to play it. And then we are going to... Nah, we're just gonna simulate it. Sorry, boys. Rey Mysterio and Kane end up losing to Masters, King Booker, and Regal, and that is not the case. Rey Mysterio and Kane actually pick up the kayfabe victory. Rey Mysterio gets the pin after Kane chokeslams Chris Masters, and then Rey Mysterio does his little splash from the top turnbuckle onto Chris Masters. Kane pushes him down. Booker and Regal aren't gonna fuck with Kane, so they just kind of hightail it out there, holding their championship belts. So that is the way that match ends. However, Masters and Booker get a nice little rub to fuck up my power rankings more than likely. But moving on, we've got the main event, which is not really a main event. And you know what? We did the table break for the first title match signing and everything. There's no tables that break in the production of this main event, and that's why we're simulating it, because no tables break in the production of this main event. Kennedy, Lashley, Edge, it's a tense stare down. There's a lot of tension, but overall they don't really get physical this time. They've been physical with one another all throughout the whole build-up, the last month or so. This time, nothing. They just sign the contracts, and the show fades to black with an intense stare down, and then Snitsky, Edge kind of just waving over his nose. Shit. Strained Achilles tendon. Okay, solid. Okay, so with that being said, I'm not gonna apologize by we're gonna go to play options and we're gonna turn injuries off because we ain't fucking around with that. No sir, no way, no how. No, just definitely not. So there you go. We are just gonna turn injuries off for a while. Well, maybe we'll turn them back on throughout the series, but as of right now, I'm not concerned with it. So let's go ahead. Ooh, we've got the Great American Bash. We don't even have any weekly shenanigans. This is going to be a really short episode, guys. But that's okay. I mean, I don't think anybody's really tripping. 40 minutes is long enough as is. So we'll just take a look at our ratings from the last show to give some kind of content since we didn't really play the matches either. 3.5, 3, 3, 3.5, 4, 3-star show rating. Fuck you. Okay, so we got a nice little rub there like that. So let's make sure our rivalries are still good to go. I don't think I screwed anything up in the booking. Nope, I didn't. Okay, Lashley Edge. That's going to be big for the main event rankings. Kane, Chris Masters, both of those two rivalries at 2 stars. Or 2 thumbs up, rather. That Ray and Booker would definitely be at 2 stars if I didn't neglect it that 1 week. We'll check out the roster. Fatigue. Kennedy's way up there. Fuck, man. I'm glad he's not out because that would actually really suck. Okay, we got Kenny Dykstra. We're just gonna get these guys signed really quick. Added 5 more weeks. Woo! Sorry, almost dropped some equipment there, and that just wouldn't have been good for anybody. But anyway, we will go ahead and get the Great American Bash all booked. Oh boy, that's exciting. We're going to start from the top down just because I'm particularly nervous about this match. So triple threat. Bobby Lashley. Mr. Kennedy. Edge. World Heavyweight Champion. Son of a bitch, man. Son of a bitch. What the fuck? Mr. Kennedy, he fell out. It's got to be Mr. Kennedy. Yep. To fucking 9, man? That's some... I fucked that up, I guess. That's okay. Disappointing for sure, but we've got a plan. So we will just go ahead. We're going to move on. It's not that in the world. I mean, Edge might be retaining his championship anyway, so ultimately, it may not even matter at all. So we're gonna keep that like that, and then that was our big question mark. So we got that answered straight away. So we will go ahead and finish this one out. So moving on to the next match. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the last episode of Smackdown that we were just doing is that throughout the night. We had that first encounter with Kenny Dykstra and Gregory Helms where they were at the stage, but then Kenny Dykstra came back out to the ring later that night, and he was, just talking that shit to Gregory Helms, and he said, come out, fight me right now. Gregory Helms, he said, listen, man, I will come and fight you right now, and I will beat your ass no matter, all throughout this ring, it does not matter to me. But you should know what I know. We've got a match at the Great American Bash, and I figured it was appropriate so I could give you the lesson that you've been needing, that your cocky little prickness has been needing, is we will have a submission match, and we will settle this score of who is the best, because clearly I've heard your podcast, you've heard my podcast. You have this idea in your head that your technical acumen is just superior to everyone. So, me submission match. We've had our little hardcore matches. We've had our first blood matches. You've pinned me. Now, let's see who gets the submission. The score is really tied 1-1 in our matches. Let's settle the score here. Great American Bash. I'm not fighting you tonight. And Kenny Dykstra, you know, and before Kenny Dykstra can answer, Gregory Helms is like, and since I'm the adult in this situation here, I've already got the match booked, so there's nothing you could say about it. And then Gregory Helms hits him with a, so what's up with that? And then, but ultimately just walks back. Man of peace on that SmackDown. But that sets up a submission match. It says ultimate submission. That's for a ratings rub, and the match will end once the first fall happens. Just trust me on that one. And yeah, so that's how that's going to go. And then moving on to match number 2. We've got our tag team title match, and we've been looking forward to this one. We should have made it, in all honesty, we should have made it a rivalry. I was going to, but I didn't. We got Matt Hardy and then Jeff Hardy, of course, the Hardy Boys, taking on Elijah Burke and Marcus Corvon. We're going to make it a ladder match, just for this wasn't planned beforehand. And when they find out, Elijah Burke is just like, what the fuck, man? Like, you are kidding me. Marcus Corvon is kind of hyped up, and he knows that, you know, Elijah Burke's going to have to be into the whole match regardless. He can't just sit on that ring apron and be all mopey because he lost his Cruiserweight Championship. So, you know, Marcus Corvon does not hate it. And then we've got our next match. We are going to schedule it for the United States Championship. And then we'll go ahead. Just a simple one-on-one matchup, but we'll make it a hardcore match just for the sake of ratings and low fatigue. We got the rivalries turned off anyway, so fuck it. But we're gonna, or not the rivalries, the injuries. We're gonna treat the injuries being off as though they're not off. We're gonna be cautious and aware and respectful of the fatigue system. Moving on. Match number 4. This should be a good one. We've got Chris Masters and Kane. And what we're going to do here, this one's just going to be called a Falls Count Anywhere, but unfortunately it will be billed as another hardcore match. And we'll go ahead and have Kane come out first, Chris Masters come out second, and that is going to be that, kind of the accumulation of these two finally just going let loose at it. They fought throughout the last couple, probably the month and a half. They've been in tag matches against each other, but they have not had a one-on-one instance or encounter. So I actually wasn't my entire plan, but we had to adjust. But anyway, we got these two. Initially, I wanted to have a match of just a straight up one-on-one where it ended in a double count-out, but that didn't happen. It kind of would add more sense to the Falls Count Anywhere sense. However, it is what it is, and we get what we get. And then, ultimately, we've got a hardcore match in the gameplay. Main event time, triple threat, World Heavyweight title, Mr. Kennedy, Edge, Lashley. We're going to see what we have to do to adjust to Mr. Kennedy being a little shithead. So we're not going to confirm. We are definitely most 100% not going to confirm. We're going to go to our roster. We're going to check everything out. Mr. Kennedy, you pissed me off, you some bitch. You some bitch. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you've stuck around this long, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, giving the video a like, leaving some feedback down below. Stay tuned for the Great American Bash because it will be coming soon.